Okay, welcome to Talk About Paint Club, your tri-monthly tangent from the world around you. I am Rick Strohmeyer, your host, freshly shaved, and I'll follow along with.
I don't have to shave. Co-host Matt Hatches. My
Going
face
Chewbacca, huh? Oh, there you
I have
go.
not.
All right.
I have not developed the Italian curse yet.
Well, there you go.
As of yet.
As of yet. There you go. Okay. So let's see. Oh, I'm skipping that. All right, cool. All right. Let's see. So we have. All right. It is the second week of what's it called? January.
I almost forgot the month. I was like,
I haven't fucked up on the year yet though, so that's cool. All right, so it's the second week of January. Thank you. This is the only week show during the month where we will be on Saturday. Next week we will be on Sunday at 7:00 on the Sunday special time. So yeah, and I guess the great big hairy question is, Nicole, what are you drinking right now? Right now,
the life source that we call
water.
Yes, water. I am dehydrated today.
Oh, there you go. I feel your pain. All right.
What are you drinking the same?
Same, yeah. See, somebody just popped into the chat.
Because Dylan's talking shit about me not watching Taylor Swift. It's because the fucking Chiefs game is on. I don't consider that Taylor Swift, and that's not the same, and it doesn't matter.
Come on. All right. So, big question about that. Whoops. All right. So, besides, what color are you looking at? No. So, do the Chiefs ever say, "Hey, feature"? Do they ever advertise for her?
No.
Well, then it ain't her show.
Exactly.
They don't advertise. If they don't advertise for her, it ain't her show. But I'm
Dylan's
sure
under the impression that I am only a Taylor Swift fan because of her being on TV lately, and he is negatory
you're not?
on that. No.
Oh.
It is a very deep embedded secret of my soul of being the Swiftie, and then it's become okay this year, obviously, and we could thank our dear friend Trevor from TNT Plastic for reminding me that it's okay. Like, even before like all of like the Eras tour or whatever that shit is, like, it was, what was it, 20? I keep saying last year, so that's my fuck up of when I say the wrong year. So 2022, him and I were talking about like making a show where like we give like artists like specific like songs or like different like albums and stuff like for them to do, because it was right after like the newest album came out. So like it's been a conversation that Trevor and I have been weirdly doing for a very long time. I tell him all the time, I'm pretty sure your wife like appreciates that she does not have to hear your shit anymore, and that you can just text me like, did you see what happened? And he's like, you have no idea how happy she is. I'm like, I'm sure.
There you go.
I'm funny. A Swiftie groupie. Yeah, well, no, because I don't really like the Swifties, like the weird ones, like the ones who like stand for her. Like, they scare me a little bit.
You hear that? There's different levels of fanaticism out there.
You know there is.
Oh yes.
with everything, like You know,
All right, so we got a little house.
They're Yankee fans that would punch you in the face, and I'd never do that.
Right. So, all right, so we got a little housekeeping to do, and we'll move right on in. All right, so let's see. As stated earlier, next week we'll be on the Sunday time, so 7 o'clock Central. So yeah, thanks for joining us here. Let's see, what else do we need to do? Okay, so the color of the month is neon orange. Gosh, I hope I can incorporate that somewhere. And
it's not like I saw 3 of those pieces that you made that Jen bought with neon orange yesterday at her sister's house.
This is true.
I was like, that's Rick's, that's Rick's, that's Rick's.
Neon orange things, right? Like,
there's no way to tell that it's a Rick piece.
You know, goals.
Zero typecasting. Zero typecasting in his art.
Goals. Let's see. I'm gonna
succeeded on the goal, then, dear. Succeeded on that goal.
Oh no!
I'm pretty sure I just got a bruise on my arm.
I have toys that are falling over. So what do you do?
Stab my arm on the chair.
You put weights in there. That's all right. So yeah, a quick tip of the night: if you have toys that are tippy, try putting weights on the inside of them.
It's a very smart idea.
Let's see. Yeah. All right. So let's see. You're drinking water. I'm drinking water. What else we got going on? All right. Oh, Kimmy, thank you. Thanks for showing up, Kimmy. Let's see. I don't have anything else to bring up.
No, weird.
Color of the month and that. All right. Oh, so yeah. Everybody, I hope you're staying safe during the winter storm that everybody's supposed to be having, because there's certain parts of the country that may potentially lose power this week because their grids suck. And yeah, so there we go. Hope everybody's going to be okay. If not, yeah, disaster plan. Let's see. If your power goes off for more than a couple of days, well, yeah. So let's give a safety tip on how to survive the cold. So, all right, imagine this, Nicole. If your power was shut off for a couple of days, and you can't go anywhere because power's off, what would you do? And then we'll see if you match an expert. I'm not the expert. I'm relaying expertise.
Okay, so I have gas heat.
Oh.
Does that count? Are we saying if my boiler broke too at the same time?
I don't know. That's cool. Well, congratulations. Well, let's say you had no heat.
If I was at my old apartment,
way to pull that goofy power move. I have gas heat. I'm not going to lose power.
Yeah. If I had.
Wow.
If I was
way to flex white privilege.
No way to flex my stepdad being like, fuck this oil tank, throwing that shit out because we're in an old ass house, and putting gas in like years ago because he was tired of that shit.
All right, so let's say no heat.
In my old apartment, if my electricity went out, everything would have gone out in my old apartment. Well, that's Greenwich money. You're so fucking stupid. I would light mad candles, first of all. There'd be no way to boil water, but no, that's not true. I'd be able to finagle a way to boil water because I have torches and lighters. So I'd be able to do that. I have safety stuff. I do have like safety things here, like to at least that. And I have mad blankets. I don't know. I put mad blankets on. And I drink booze. And I smoke weed. And I die.
Hey, Kev. All right. Let's put a little more reality into let's save Nicole's life tonight. How's that? All right. Say you're going to lose power. It's freezing outside, do you have a tent?
No.
Okay. You don't have a tent. You have blankets though, right?
An excessive amount.
Okay. So if you had a tent, you find whatever room is not touching the outside walls and you put the tent up in there. And then you throw blankets and stuff on top of the tent. You're essentially making a pillow fort with your tent. And you stay inside the tent. All that insulation, the body, hey Kev, all that insulation, the body heat inside will keep you warmer.
Okay.
Right? Close the door that you're at too, so that you keep everything insulated inside your little tent. If you start to sweat though, get out of the tent because you don't want that moisture in there, and go cool off in a different part of the house. But keep that chamber as insulated and airtight as possible. And that'll help get you through the tough time. If you don't have a tent, move the biggest table you can in there and blanket fort. Blankets, clothes, whatever, all on the outside of your tent, all on the outside of your blanket fort. Doesn't matter if your clothes are clean or dirty, they will insulate just as well. And that's method of surviving this shit ordeal of having poor infrastructure. And then Nicole brings up the best point of all. He doesn't even know it. Don't cook inside while you're doing this, because chances are, I'm not saying Nicole is wrong, but chances are you might actually produce enough carbon monoxide to not need rescuing. So if you have a grill or barbecue and you feel you must boil water and cook, do it outside.
So if I lost power, and does that mean I can't leave my house at all?
You shouldn't, unless you can
I'm just asking.
Unless you can go find someplace that does have power and you can hang out there. You should stay where you are.
What if I know people with trucks that could take me somewhere with power?
Then no, you stay freezing your. No, you can go someplace that has power, but chances are, if power's getting knocked out, roads are going to be in shit. Roads are going to be for shit. And you're going to not want to go out.
What if I ran the car's heat?
And can't make a blanket for it in your car without having somebody to fucking go find you. So
that's true.
Yeah. Be safe, be smart, folks. Like, is it an absolute?
Sure,
no, because Nicole's going to try and.
Anyone knows that my ass is going to die, so it's fine.
Is it an absolute? Maybe, not. But like, do you want to live for the next day? Yeah. Give yourself as good a fighting chance as instead of trying to find the life hack of like, well, I know this, blah blah blah, but let's see if this will happen. Like, in the middle of a snowstorm, is it a good time to start questioning fate and poor life choices?
You know what? I've said many a times, if there's a zombie apocalypse, like, I'm just going to shoot myself. So like, I am not a tactical survivor human person.
Well, then
I'm going to have hypothermia and die. I'm just being honest.
Just sit back and listen to the info and let other people absorb it instead of, well, Rick's giving out information, but Nicole, I'm with Nicole. Fuck it. So to answer your question, Kev, yes, I do have. Yes, I follow a particular YouTuber that does believe in a lot of preparation for disasters, believes in that is a big fan of disaster relief, and apparently never wants to have to go find somebody who froze to death in a fucking dumb situation. So he provides a lot of information on what to do during hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, freezes when infrastructure fails because you may not live in an environment that's failed, but chances are you do know somebody who has. And after last year, or not last year, after the last time Texas grid failed, it was like, I was checking in on a lot of my friends who live down there, and it's kind of depressing to see like the haves versus the have-nots. So yeah, we push. So those who do right now try and push along the good word that, yeah, the information is power, and it's good to have the information before the power gets shut off.
All I think is that fucking NBC thing. The more you know.
Right.
The stupid. Are we? Where do you live again, David? I forgot. Where in Jersey? Because if I just type New Jersey, it's gonna just tell me like random places in Jersey.
Because like, I know for a fact that I have somebody who's in bumfuck New Mexico watching right now, and she has the possibility of having
thunderstorm with no power. What the fuck stupid question is that? That's the dumbest fucking question I have ever seen you ask me on the show, Dylan. I'm sorry. I love you so much, but who the fuck cares about the thunderstorm and no power?
Electrical surges, dude.
I'd rather have an electrical surge than freeze.
You say that in the shower.
I don't shower when there's a thunderstorm because my mother, the goddamn Italian that she was raised by old Italians who did not let the shower run, did not let the phone be used, and you had to army crawl past the goddamn windows.
Well, there you go.
We don't play that shit in this weather.
And that's why.
And Dylan should know better because he's fucking Italian too.
It's not why I'm saying it.
I know. Can I just tell you, he's probably sitting in his room right now or wherever he is, cracking the fuck up about how I'm reacting to this right now.
Good.
And
here's the deal. David should have his own YouTube channel. That's nothing but reactions about this show. And see how it becomes circular. All right, we have a snowstorm, likely not to half the time. You're expected to keep power during snowstorms. It's sorry if you're in Texas. Good. I'm glad you have power to tune in tonight too. I'm so glad you.
Philly, you're fine. You're fine until Tuesday.
So yeah.
I just asked a simple question. I didn't know I was going to have my balls, but yes, you did.
Hey man, like, you know what?
Yes, you did.
I've always let's see, like 20 years ago, I read one of the most influential books of my life, and it was the Zombie Survival Guide by Max Brooks. Same guy who wrote World War Z ended up at first writing a zombie survival guide that reads just like a military handbook. It's fucking hilarious. But he very much preached the idea of how to be prepared, what to be prepared with. Okay. And it's pretty translatable to all types of other disasters. And nowadays, people will pay attention and think about the idea of preparing for a fictional zombie apocalypse than they would to prepare for yearly hurricanes. So you get your message out how you can, okay? And that being said, if I had to leave town tonight because of the zombie apocalypse, I could. That's pretty cool, right? Okay. Can you do that? No, you're going to be consumed by zombies or raptors. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm literally going to die. Like, it's whatever.
So, yeah. So, I apparently have more of a desire to live than you do. Okay. And you haven't driven with my 82-year-old mom.
You probably do.
And if you ever rode as a passenger in the car with my 82-year-old mom, you get to see how much you don't want to see Jesus immediately. So yeah.
I was with my stepdad in the car.
So be prepared.
My stepdad's 68. And he
And then
does that
Nicole.
shit. He's like, your driving terrifies me.
And then Nicole, here's the best part, or here's the best phrase. I'm going to lean in so I can tell you. Come prepared or don't come at all.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
So I just log off the show.
You're going to laugh at that later. So, yeah. And then, like, all right. So, let's see. No ball busting my slice, Dylan. Yeah, dude. Like, I didn't know Florida was getting hammered with hurricanes until like somebody was like, "Oh yeah, I marked safe for more tornadoes this week." Until somebody marked themselves safe, and then I was like, "Oh shit!" I know folks in Florida, and hoping they were all right. And then yeah, so it's very much like
Don't
this
give
is the
us
part.
more mottos
This
for
is
the
just
show.
another. This is motto for the show. Come prepared or don't come at all. Ooh, I like that.
Why do you think I rolled my whole entire body backwards? I knew you would.
Well, of course I do. Like, I'm a
Rule number 75.
I am. That's going to be rule number 5, and we'll just stop doing rules after that.
Yeah, I don't have a mic, but you know, phone. Ready.
Like I am a product of the 80s. You come prepared or don't come at all.
I came quite prepared. I actually have a bin of minis for me to choose from to make volunteering.
Excellent. All right. So, great big hairy question. What are you working on tonight? Or what are you working tonight? What have you been working on?
Okay, so what I've been working on is making sure my cat isn't dying.
Okay.
Because that's been a very interesting week. Nothing like spending $400 at the vet for them to tell you they don't know what is wrong with them.
It's true.
Except probably arthritis and more medication that costs more because that's to be more frequent and more tests that are going to be ran after and blah, 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 blah. But most people who are friends with me on Facebook got to see my panic attack that my cat literally limber up, you dumbass. She got up out of her bed and just like fell over and of course like the vet and like, well, I didn't think it, but the vet was like instantly thinking she had a stroke. And of course, like everyone knows me who knows Pebbles knows that my ass was like, what do you mean you didn't hear about this? Look at my Facebook. So she just like fell, like she couldn't like stand up. She would just like fall over. And like the vet, like, I don't know if anyone's ever seen a fucking blood pressure machine for cats, but that shit's wild. It is it's like a box and it has like other stuff attached to it. And like it's like a suitcase kind of thing because it has headphones in it. And then they like tape it to, or they like attach it to like the tiny part of the paw. And she's so skinny because she's so old. And she's like, and like I walk into the room and they have this thing out already. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And they're like, well, we're going to check her blood pressure and make sure she didn't have a stroke. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Like that was not even my like processing of like what could potentially have been. But they gave her potassium, they gave her B12, they gave her fluids, they ran blood, they ran urine, everything. And they were like, there's nothing glaring. And I'm like, well, there's something, but she's like 100 in human years from what they calculate. And she old as fuck, and she got like real heavy arthritis in her left back, which is where she's falling, and like it could be from like needing more fluid and her kidneys being all jacked up on top of like their arthritis. It could be nothing. It could be just her wasting my goddamn money. And I said to her when we got home, I go, I swear to fucking God, you gotta cut this shit out because you are so expensive. And like, I know like with her thyroid and all that.
Did she say okay?
I mean, she went into her bed and looked at me like, "Don't talk to me." Like no, but nobody's interested in you. And now my other cat is climbing through my coat. Anyways, because Noodle's not allowed out there. I mean, she's allowed out there, but I have to have I'm trying to put like a curtain thing so she doesn't like attack or bother her while she's like recovering, and her food has to stay close to her, but she fucking keeps getting up because she's a pain in the ass. Like, my God, when they started doing the thyroid meds, I'm like, this shit is so expensive as it is. And now another $400 visit after I just did a visit in like December to check all that shit. So like what, 3-4 weeks, it was December 20th, I remember. So fuck that shit. And then all of this, and now they want to increase her thyroid meds, which means it's going to have to be refilled more like faster, and then they're going to have to do more blood work to check stuff. And I'm just sitting here like, how do you pay for these things? And like, of course you sign on like to love your animals forever. I will never not do anything for her. The second they ask like, do you want to do this? Like, is this something you'll do? Absolutely. Run the blood work. Absolutely. Run the urine. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you got to do. And then the bank account and the credit card limit, it looks like the pet care card looks at you like, girl, I know you love her, but you ain't got the money to love her. And like, the other one has her annual visit coming up, and I looked at her and I was like, I'm so sorry that all the money's going to your sister. But man, so that's been this week. And then I popped a tire. So that was, basically like I wasted a chunk of like awake time dealing with crisis. So I didn't really get to work on much. So I'm working right now. Because what I'm doing is since I make those little minis, as you know, and as everyone knows, these are the ones that people because this is a terrible habit and I love it. This is a terrible habit and hobby and I love it. People be trading shit. Like, oh look, you got a sushi thing from one of those mystery things. You don't want it? Cool, great. You can make I'll trade you for whatever. So these are all the ones I've traded, and I'm making an Alice in Wonderland tea party table with like different like cakes and whatever. So like I have like little pink like donuts with sprinkles, and I have like the like the little like rolly cakes here, like the little roll cakes, chocolate roll cakes, but I'm gonna put like pink frosting on it and make it all weird. And like see, I call it a Battenberg cake, but I guess like America calls it a checkered cake, and I call it a Battenberg cake because I've watched British Bake Off for way too many seasons. But a Battenberg cake.
I.e., Nicole is tired of America's shit and she wants to be under British rule again.
God damn fucking right. I drink the tea. I'm making a tea party. God bless she's dead. I was gonna say God save the queen, but yeah. Not the current one. I don't really like that one. But yeah, so I'm gonna hopefully make some of these, and then next week, I know that we're not doing it on Saturday, but on my own, probably on my Instagram, I'm gonna be making the ones that are for my in honor of my mom. So like I have like a candle that's a rose candle, so it has like little roses inside of it, and it has like a nice little. Apparently, it smells. I'm not sure how I feel about that since it's like resin. So I'm kind of like, huh?
Like scented resin.
Well, okay, wait, hold on. The rose one does not smell. The rose one glows, which is cool in my opinion. But this one, the lemon one, it smells. The resin doesn't smell, but the little lemon slice smells, and it smells like pineapple. So I'm kind of confused overall by that one. Not gonna lie, but they have like a eucalyptus one that smells, and I'm like, but I have roses. Like they have like ones that are actually like roses in a vase, and I have Legos. it's like a big Lego bouquet set. So I'm gonna like do a whole thing on that, and I'll show them here on the 21st. Since that's why we're not gonna go live, and I'm gonna be all like bold about that shit. It's my mom's like anniversary of her passing, so we're just gonna chill.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's cool.
So I think I'm gonna make what they're calling a unicorn sundae.
Okay, what's that?
It apparently we're not good. I don't like to roll with these like these rules on these things because I think it's more fun when you don't. It has a little waffle bowl thingy, has fake ass ice cream, then the resin that's like the syrup, and then little sprinkle jazzies, and then like these cute little like wafer cookie thingies that go inside of it. And that's gonna be on the Alice in Wonderland table. I got like specific like colorful like fun things. And then what I also did, because I'm making like a big table, like it's gonna be like a swirly kind of table. I bought these like organizers from Michael's from Target. If you can go and you need tiny things, these are the cutest organizers, and they attach to each other. These were $5 each, and they have little drawers. So I got like 2 of these kind, and then 2 of the smaller drawers, and like all of the additives and stuff. I put them in here so I could start making like funky ass cakes and topsy turvy like teas and shit. So that's what I'm doing. Amen. I'm just going to keep saying amen to everything.
Double tap that beer keg.
Actually, I have a root beer float one here too. I should just make that since you said beer.
Oh, that's rad. Okay. Well, let's see.
What are you
doing? Amen. Well, currently I'm working on 2 Rancid Raptors from by James Groman, because it's I wanted something small and detailed to work on today or tonight, and after the show I will have a little more concentration to zone out and do like tons of little details. But yeah, like it's just pretty damn satisfying to be able to just chill out on some of the smaller details of something like this. So great joy in that. But let's see, this week I have been working on getting stuff for my other YouTube channel built, edited, and uploaded. And if if you're friends with me on Facebook and you have probably seen like me posting shorts and the video, and if you are lucky enough, I sent you the link already to go watch the new video and probably one of the shorts.
Damn, I'm not lucky enough.
Well, it depends. I lost heart in doing like mass sending everybody once I got to the L's in my fucking yeah. And I'm like, either I'm going to lose friends on Facebook or I'm going to get subscribers on YouTube.
I am going to unfriend you and unsubscribe right now.
Okay. Well,
I'm not going to actually do that.
You make the choices that you feel you must. Yeah, and like I'm like, I have thousands of friends on Facebook. Like, I'm not bragging about this because like, you just do. Like you get a friend request, you check out to see if they are friends with somebody, if you know these people and know the person, and if they happen to be friends with somebody else, you're more than likely like, yeah, okay. if they know so and so and this person, I'll probably be friends with them too. And that's how it works, right? So I'm like, all right, I guarantee 3/4 of the people that I'm friends with on Facebook, I've never met, and they're all just mutual friends with somebody else. And I didn't go seeking them out, and they sought me. So they sought me, and that's the unintended consequence that eventually you'll get hit with a request to like, subscribe, and follow my YouTube shit. So yeah, it's either it helps thin the herd of how many friends I have on Facebook, or it helps grow the subscriptions on YouTube. Um, like because I've been paying attention to my YouTube analytics, which is weird to say, and freaking after my first short after a short I shared this week, say that a bunch of times fast, I had over 600 views on it, which was pretty cool. Oh yeah, it's because of that thing. And I'm like, well, 600 is pretty cool. I've only had one thing on Instagram go beyond 500 likes before, so that's pretty cool. I do not have 600 subscribers on my YouTube, so the algorithm put it in front of a shit ton of people, which is okay with me too. So yeah, I have no idea how the algorithm works, and I bet nobody else really does either.
It changes too much. How can anyone know when it changes like as often as humanly possible?
So yeah, so it's been quite neat watching things grow and stuff on there, or just go. And so let's see, I lost the thread for a second. Oh yeah, so I started project number 4, which was one of the 4 or 5 that I was going to do during the challenge of our last break. But it was very much like finish one of the big projects and then move on. Don't the discipline was to not start other projects even though they had been partially in the fire. Right. So not to start another, or not to, even though it was already started, not to start another one until the current one was worked on. So I started one that was that is on a Mattel. So I'm not sure. I'm not going to show the toy right now because I don't want to. Not like okay, so those who don't know, this is a Mattel or model designed by Jeremy Mattel. Kev knows him, but I have a 10-inch blank over there. Actually, I have 2, but anyway, I have a 10-inch blank over there that is chopped up and glued up in clamps right now. But I've always been of the opinion that this is the best blank designer toy out there ever.
Why?
Great question. So this was designed to be customized according to Jeremy. I heard a great interview with him about 5 years ago on the Marsham Toy Hour, and he explained that his intent was to have all these beautiful flat areas on planes on this to make it easier to customize, to make it easier to put stickers on, or to give an artist plenty of surface area to draw flat planes, and it works great. If you've never painted one, you should. Everybody should. This is
I'm now gonna go get one or look for one.
It's such a great platform. I've customized dozens of these, and I think they're great.
I think I saw one of
And
those yesterday at Jen's, and I was like, I had no idea what this is.
so it's got to be over 15 years old, right? It's classy, which is funny because like it seems to be in the last month, all I wanted to do is paint on really old designer vinyl toys like the Supa and this, and I even dusted off a couple monies a while during the break just to play head swap games with. And yeah, it's great fucking platform,
Why the fuck
and it
not?
comes in and it's comes in a 5-inch and a 10-inch version. And I think he made a resin version that was smaller, but I've never. I'm not going to chase limited edition resin pieces to customize. So it is what it is. Now, Jeremy Maddle has had success in the toy world besides having his very classy and platform. Um, he's collaborated with many producers. Most recently, the Mad Can Monster from by Martian Toys, Mad Can Mutant. Fun
Kevin
piece
knows
to
that too. Sorry.
yeah, like I said, I'm like Kevin, you know him. Like if you haven't met him, you've I know you've done business with him. So
Rule 17,
um,
don't be a hero.
and he lives in Kansas City, and every time every time I've gone through there, Aaron has offered, "Oh, would you like to meet Jeremy?" And I'm like, I think I'm going to be going in way too late to actually want to meet. Like by the time I go through Kansas City, it's not going to be appropriate to want to go
Knock
hang
on
out with
someone's
somebody.
door.
Well, whether or not like I'm probably going through at midnight or something, and I don't want to fucking. I know he has kids, and I don't need to. I don't need to bring that burden on anybody. You know what I mean? So
I
yeah.
do.
Comment above mine for Rule 17. Comment above yours. What about yours? 17. What the fuck, YouTube? Oh, you guys, you're so great. So yeah, so I was thinking, actually, I'm sorry. I asked you if you had a whiteboard with the intent of wanting to play a game tonight, and in order to do it now,
Do not tell me
I
you're
have
not
to
going to
actually
have me do it.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to have you do it. And I'm sorry, dude. Like, I needed a little prep time to get ready, and yeah. So we'll play a fun game on Sunday
with the whiteboard, because I'm not putting it back up then.
With the whiteboard, yes.
Okay.
The whiteboard, and yes. So we'll see about getting some more audience participation, and we can get the audience to play along too. And then Nicole doesn't have to be so annoyed that I decided not to do what we're doing tonight, or what. Yeah. So, and I'm not going to tell you in advance what it is.
Dylan's the only one that knew me back then. I've had this since I worked at Razor Focus. This was on my because you didn't know me then either. Jesus Christ, I just dropped stuff. This was given to me by somebody like when they moved their own office. Like it was from like a different company or whatever, and I took that and I put it next to my desk, and they kept it there, right? And like I left and they kept it there, and I was like, I took that shit off when I stopped working. You used to draw. Yes, I did. Dylan remembers very well. I used to draw from wow, my brain is dying. From Breaking Bad.
What's that?
What's Breaking Bad?
Yeah, what's that?
It's a TV show with Bryan Cranston, and it's about a science teacher who finds out he has terminal cancer, and his decision because he doesn't have money to pay for to pay for his family and stuff, is to make meth. And he becomes a drug kingpin. And I'm not telling you anymore in case you feel like watching it at any point, because it's amazing. It is
No,
phenomenal.
Dude, I don't. It's not my thing.
So, anyways, he becomes a drug kingpin. Spoiler alert! Even though the show's been, off the air for forever, he dies because he died. Inevitably, he's a kingpin for the love of fucking God. He's a loving father who does nothing wrong. You dumbass. So stupid.
Oh, it's that kind of tale. All right.
Yeah, exactly. He does it for the family. He's Dylan's right.
When you're there, your family.
Exactly. Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
We're just gonna mix all of it, right?
Honestly, we might as well. When sometimes you want to go where everybody knows. I used to every week take this board and draw the infamous because there was a like in the show there was a line drawing like of what they said he looked like. So when like the other like drug people or like the DEA or whatever was looking, they were like, oh, he looks like this guy with the glasses and the hat. And like I would draw every time right here, and I would write like whatever fucking infamous quote from like the week before or something like that. And it was like a rotating yeah. Yep, that was it.
Right on.
Because I'm a bit ridiculous. And that's okay. That is okay.
Cool. Let's see what else. What we got?
Now I kind of want to know what the game was supposed to be, but I guess I'll wait until you tell me.
You can wait. You can wait. Because if I tell you now, all you're going to do is just start Googling.
Oh, fair enough. But my eye roll is so heavy that I think I could see inside of my brain.
Yeah, dude. You don't need to.
You don't need to know what the fuck we're going to talk about.
Yeah, dude. Like, part of it's reaction, right? Like, you know, it's cool.
I need to think of something to do this back to you.
Oh, all right. Why don't you show up late sometime and see how that does?
You're a fucking asshole. Nobody bore witness to Rick and I arguing before the show started. With love, XOX.
So yeah. Anyway,
Sister with love.
Sorry, I'm trying to get like this. I'm using these super sloppy glazes that I made. I'm like, ooh, I want to put a blend in, and I'm like, oh, it has to be like, oh, it just has to go fast. And I'm like, oh, this is not as fast as I was expecting to work tonight. So yeah, it was green before we started. Yeah, it was green before we started. I've been mixing glazes. I made these glazes a while ago. Let me get this yellow down, and I'll show those off. There we go. And yeah. So yeah, the idea was to go super bright, and then yeah, I want this super bright, but yeah, keep the details set up. Anyway, so I made these glazes all in the amazing dropper bottles, which I've come to the decision that dropper bottles are the best
for glazes.
Well, just for holding paints, right? Because like I don't like a lot of manufacturers eyedropper bottles or paint pots or whatnot, because I think it just you waste a shit ton. You see this shit? This is sucks. Seeing all your paints do this. This fucking sucks. I hate this. Okay.
Yeah, it's my least favorite thing. I'm not gonna lie.
This sucks. All right. Going into something like this, and you see like, well, that's because I just cleaned it. Like dropper
Like
bottles.
that?
But this shit. All right. I fucking hate this shit. All right.
This is a empty one. So.
And so like there's ways to prevent it if you think about it in the moment before you like have your paint pot prematurely squirt a drop or two out, and it's fucking annoying. But a dropper bottle, everything's contained. It just requires the most basic skill of making sure that your pipette actually goes into the vessel instead of like scraping the side or going onto the threads and whatnot. So, and with the glazes that I've made, you know, you're doing all the shaking inside. You can see whether or not it's mixed well enough. You just squirt the pipette before you open it to get all the whatever was in the pipette out, and then you can distribute it as you want. And it works way better for airbrushes to use those than a dropper bottle, because you're not going to have whatever fucking gunk is at your airdrop or eyedropper port going into the fucking paint pot. It's handy. And it's like, I fucking hate waste on paint like that. You know,
I like that a lot better than, because remember a few like a year and a half maybe ago, I was showing like my technique was like a reuse these kind of thing. I like that a lot better. And I was just talking about how I did that technique of like, my techniques weren't always techniques, they were tips. I was just talking about how like I like literally earlier today about how I showed on the like podcast, like, oh, I clean these out and I reuse them or whatever. And I have dropper bottles that I haven't used because I used to make like stevia liquid stevia from like the plant. And I bought like a dumbass. I bought like a case of like 50 bottles. Why the fuck did I need 50 bottles? I literally filled like 7. Like with the amount, because you have to do the alcohol and then burn off the you get very little product after. So like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna fucking actually do that.
So
thanks
these
for
are
a good tip.
Well, there you go. So these are glazes. They're very transparent, and it's a combination of flow improver, a medium, either matte medium or some other magic mix, but it's an acrylic based medium, and then Liquitex acrylic ink. And yeah, so they dry transparent or translucent. And yeah, when I was making them, I ended up having a bunch of these little chunks of wood that I ended up smearing texture paste on, so I could then write down what the actual color was on the other side. And I really like these, and they seem to be going more into what I'm painting nowadays. And yeah, and it jives with some of my original painting training, where you're using a lot of transparent paints and layers and layers of glazes to build up definition and tone. And yeah, so it's just an easy way of making ready-made glazes, as opposed to like every time you're at the palette and you squirt out a glob of paint, then you get your medium set up along with your water and blah blah blah. And it's like, oh, this is a kind of a fun time saver. So yeah,
I like that.
Yeah. So, and also I'm in the process of phasing out my model paints. And so I've pretty much started, I guess about a year ago, I decided I would not, I wasn't going to invest a lot into model paints. And, you know, I still buy some every once in a while, but for the most part, it's like it's been using up those, so I can use more stuff by Liquitex or Golden, and making things way more customizable as I go, as opposed to just buying a lot of cookie cutter shit. And like, how's that working right now? Well, I finally started feeling the squeeze of that Exodus when I was painting some metallics the other day, and I was like, wow, I need this black, metallic black that I've had for a while, and it's one of my favorite model paints. And I was like, oh, I have officially used it all up, and now then it was like, okay, well, now what? And so it's forcing me to find other alternatives for what I have, and also keep a big ass list of what colors am I going to start trying to reproduce myself, because let's see, one of these bottles versus one of these. See that little tiny bottle? This,
how much those cost?
so this was half the cost of that, and that's pretty cool.
So do you remember when I told you about that song, or there was like a video on TikTok or whatever it was, where the guy was like, go to the store and grab a bottle of hoisin sauce, comes home and he goes into his fridge and finds he has another one, goes to repeat. And I said, that's me with paint. And I started showing you all of my white paint. I was just like how I was showing about the dropper bottle, like talking about the dropper bottle today. I was talking about how it's absurd. Like if you go to if you don't have like a Blick or like an art store around, like I have Jerry's, which is farther away from me now than it obviously was when I lived in Stanford. But like I'll go there when I need paint, because you get a discount card for being a VIP, blah blah blah. Michael's, if we want to get the white, is like what, like $13, and if we want to get fluorescence, it's like 16. I'm like, oh, and it's what? I'm sorry, it's 2 fucking fluid ounces.
Right.
So when anybody ever asks why things cost as much that we charge them, this 2 fluid ounces costs $15.
How much will you paint with that, though?
Don't do that. Don't do
Why?
cost per use. Because girl math applies here.
No, that's part of why. It's part of why I decided I was going to start extinguishing the model paints. So answer me. How much are you going to use that?
A lot.
A lot. All right. How many toys will you paint with that?
With that one bottle?
Yeah. I'm not calling you out. I want to like.
No, I'm trying to think. Probably like a good dozen.
Okay. So
but I also
toys.
paint canvas too. That's where I go. That's where my price. Like I'm not even thinking about like, yeah, I think about toys, but I price low on toys. I think like canvas, because I've had people say to me like, oh, I can't afford your canvases, and I'm like, okay, well the canvas itself is like 60 when it's big. Like the big ones I have, that's like a $60 when it's a thick edge, like museum canvas, and then there's each of the like it. In my time, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, I don't arbitrarily just throw shit at the wind and say, like, yeah, this is a $500 painting. Like, it literally costs this much to make. And then this is how, like, I break it down like that. And it was my goddaughter's mom who actually was like, oh, yeah, you should give this to my, give it to our, my god kid. It's a pink painting that's in my kitchen. And I said to her, like, well, it costs like $300. And she's like, oh, and I broke it down to her. I was like, this is how much the canvas costs. It's a 24 by 24, and it's it's by edge. So it's a, thick cradle. I showed her like what paints I use. I told her how much each of those paints use. I told her how long it took me. And she literally was like, I had no idea. Like it blew her mind. And she's like, I don't think I'll ever question that. Like, and she told me like if she wants something, she's like, if I want you to make something, I'm going to make sure I have the money and I'm going to give you a budget. And I was like, that's exactly what we want to hear. That's what we love to hear. This is my budget. This is how much I can afford. Like, you know, if it's a custom painting, like what size can that get me? And I loved that. I was so proud of a friend for listening and understanding and like trying to understand like the breakdown of like art supply cost and all that shit. And it's not just me being like, I think my shit's worth $400.
Right. That's why, like at certain events, I take like, I don't know. Sometimes I will take a very expensive thing just to see like if it'll fly. But yeah, nowadays it's very much like you set up a cap of like $200, and then you just fluctuate between like that and like you just create that range, and that's it. You know, like who's gonna show up to an event to want to spend like $1,300 on a toy, right? Or multiples of it. So yeah, nope, I hear you. I hear you 100% on that. So yeah.
That's why, like, you know, during New York Comic Con season, like I always say, like New York Comic Con, like DCon and all that stuff, like 5 points, those are rare duck times where people are willing to drop like $700 on a custom, $2,000 on a custom. I do not, especially New York Comic Con, I do not consider that to be like a fucking normal like
Right.
day at the office.
Right. Interesting.
I feel like sometimes like people who aren't in art, they think that like we were balling. Like, they sold that art piece. They must make a lot of money. We gotta buy more stuff to make more. Especially like resin. Oi.
Right. Yeah, I was pretty successful selling resin magnets at past couple events, and it's like, okay, well, after the first $150, it's profit, but that first $150 pays for the next gallon of resin.
Exactly. So it's like it's theoretically profit, but it's not because you're buying more right after.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's a fun game of restock.
Well, like, yeah, this past season, I did not have to explain a lot of that to like. I didn't have to explain pricing and whatnot to people who came and purchased stuff. They were very much like they're here to buy stuff, which is refreshingly different. Right. But over the summer, yeah, I had to do that. I had to explain sometimes, and that gets tedious. But you know, I've never had to explain more than at a toy event than I did this past Christmas, this past season. I'm just going to call it the season. What I'm going to affectionately call this past season is from the week before Halloween all the way to Christmas. And yeah, and I didn't have to explain that any of that during the season, which was nice. You know, like when we were at 5 points, you know, good time talking to people and selling stuff. But I had this one dude that he bought something from me about probably a month or two prior when I was doing a home shopping network time on Instagram, and like he was trying to beat me up for a piece, and you know, I had something priced moderately at $150. If you know the piece, cool. If you don't, that's cool too, Nicole. But Like, so I had it moderately priced for $150. I took it to 5 Points with me for $150 during my Instagram sell. The guy was like kept wanting to buy it, but he's like, "I'll give you $100 for it." And twice while I was just talking to people during on the chat, this guy kept going in, adding to the chat his offer of $100 over and over again. And I finally stopped and said, I have more than $100 invested in this toy, so no. All right. And he stopped asking me. And then at 5 Points, he very much asked again. He was like, "Well, I'll still give you $100 for it." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "Dude, let me explain to you why I'm going to tell you no again." And I explained to him like how much I had in the toy, and I was like, "It's." And when I explained like how much I had the toy versus his $100 offer, subtracted that, and I was like, "Dude, I have more than $25 worth of time in it, so no." and I got the response. I'm like, "No, dude, like I'm not here to give this shit away, and I'm not here to give my time away." So it's frustrating when that shit happens.
It is. And
like Kev, did you ever have anybody try and haggle you for a custom while you were for at a showpiece when you were working for Martian? Like,
oh, that motherfucker still works for Martian.
I'm going to go with yes. Kevin did have people haggle, and it's like, come on,
dude,
man.
There was a time, Kevin, if I'm not mistaken, there was like it was like last year where Aaron had to, or he was doing like sales on like stuff or whatever, and everyone's like, "What about the customs from the Raw Man? What about the customs from?" And it was like people were like looking to get like customs from like everything.
Right. So yeah, like it's just, are you not seeing my chat? I'm seeing your chat.
It came in late. Damn, dude. Kevin needed to fucking relax.
Welcome to Shit on Nicole. I'm your host, Rick Strohmeyer. This is Nicole. We're all going to crap on her tonight.
No, please don't do that. I can't. I'm tired. You can't handle it tonight. Shit on somebody else.
Right. Nobody shit on Nicole. Nobody shit on Nicole tonight. Okay, so I want to show the other thing I was working on while I'm watching paint dry, which is exciting. And it can be a tip or two. So let's see. This is what this right here got me 600 fucking views on YouTube's thing, because I shared a 20-second time lapse of the laser cutting it out. This is my new texture palette, which is smaller than the one I've got right now, but
texture palette.
But it's new. So my current one is massive. It's like 22 inches wide, and it's 1.5 feet deep. And and it's great. If you've seen any of my videos on YouTube for the past 3 months, you've seen the current texture palette, because it's what I do all my brush work over. And it just continuously gets messier and messier. So I decided to make a new one, right? So this one's smaller, so the camera field is smaller. No, the old one, I like it because it's just as big as the camera view. So like I know to frame that, and then if I'm conscious enough, I will be painting inside the frame. If I'm not, well. So, but this one was made out of the material I had available. All right. But it's plywood instead of masonite. So the hack for the masonite is to just, you flip the pieces over so you have that textured pattern over top of it. And so instead I ended up etching it into the plywood itself, which works just fine. This whole thing at 10 by 17 inches took an hour to cut out, which is not very time effective, but it is what it is. But what I did is I painted it. So I mixed a
Don't read the comment. Don't read the chat. Just don't.
what I did is I took some acrylic that I got from Blick, the ones they sell in the pint bottles, and I mixed it 50-50 with a chalkboard paint, water base, and this is the finish I got, which is very matte, which I like. All right. One of my big piece of advice, if somebody ever makes their own texture palette or happens to buy one, I would recommend painting it with whatever color you use as a primer, and that works for your first project or maybe your second. But after that, you just get layers and layers of globbed on paint like that, and it looks like a modern art masterpiece. But so the start of this with the chalkboard finish, it's mixed with the acrylic to help ensure that I don't have any, I don't reactivate it. Okay. Because when you're dry brushing, you don't want to reactivate a black paint to go into your dry brush paint. But with the chalkboard, it dries with a tooth. And that's the important part. So that, like, when you're dry brushing, you're trying to catch every edge, right? You dry brush to catch the edge one way or the other, or all ways. And the first thing you do before you start painting your thing is you rub it off onto like a paper towel or a chunk of cardboard or a texture palette, etc. And yeah, so the chalkboard paint, because it has such a finer tooth, I'm going to, I assume, untested, I'm assuming that this is going to help pick or show how it's going to look once I before I get it onto my toy. So this is very much the practice piece in advance. And to get that practice piece on just the flat surface that's coated in the chalk finish, and in the etched areas, if you can see that, the laser etching is uneven purposefully so that I can have as much texture on the inside as possible. I ain't painting you no fucking happy tree. It's going to be Halloween and you're going to be sad to look at it. Ain't no fucking happy trees here.
I hate all of you.
And let me tell you, nobody wants to buy a designer toy that has a Bob Ross painting on it. I promise you.
Is it even if they did, Bob Ross's family makes no money off of that. So
yeah, ain't nobody got time for that shit. No, so Bob Ross's very first painting that was done on public access just sold for over $10 million. So his
family didn't get the money.
No, he didn't, because he famously never sold his paintings. Any of his paintings that he did on TV, the paintings he did on TV, he gave to the local stations that he was painting in. So, yeah. So 45 years ago, there was you had some guy receive some studio manager that received his very first painting, and they kept it, and he kept it, and the family kept it forever and ever. And then somebody finally fucking decided, hey, we need to sell this piece. And yeah, $10 million. Crazy.
That's crazy.
Now, on one side, I very much am of the opinion, don't fucking buy paintings from dead artists, right? Like, they don't need the money anymore. But buying a Bob Ross does sound kind of baller.
I'm not gonna lie. If I had an opportunity and the money to own a Frida Kahlo, I would own it in a fucking heartbeat. Dead or not, needing the money or not, I'd buy it. That's and you know that's my white whale. So
Sure.
that's my Roman Empire.
So
Do you know
so what
that
have you
saying?
been
Please tell
listening
me you know
to
that.
lately?
Please tell me you know that saying.
What, your Roman Empire? No, I have no
Yeah.
idea where that's from.
Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. Okay, so
No, I'm actually not. I'm not messing with you.
let me ask you a quick question.
Okay.
Oh, my headphones died. My headphones died. Oh boy, my headphones died. Ah, that's no good.
Yeah, dude. No, I have no idea. Yeah. I never think about the Roman Empire. I do every time I look at concrete.
The saying is, no, I know you hear me. This is my headphones died. So like it was weird. They died and then they put them in and then they came back.
He has the
This
headphones of Lazarus that can come back to life.
no, so I don't know where my pros are, so I'm using my old ones. So I think it's that. The whole thing with the Roman Empire is the say like it's this whole thing on Instagram or whatever where it's like guys like they go like people go up to guys men specifically. So yes, this is sexist, and they go, "How often do you think about the Roman Empire?" And it's like weird because like most of the responses are like, "Oh, like at least like once or twice a month." Like some like it is like the weirdest thing. So the joke now is what's your Roman Empire? Like what do you think about an absurd amount for absolutely no reason?
Oh,
And I still don't understand. Like I think it's obviously just like a one of those like Instagram, Facebook, whatever, like ploys to make people like say or guess whatever dumb shit. Or like,
it's a way to.
oh,
It's a way to. It's a way to farm your information so people can get hack into your shit.
yes. Like, oh, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? Oh, three fucking days a week. No, you don't. It's honestly just something that you probably say because it's for the video. But like now people go, oh, what's your Roman Empire? And people will be like for me, my Roman Empire is that, and it's also SVU, Law and Order SVU. That's my Roman Empire. I think about it way too much.
Okay, fair. Fair.
So what is your Roman Empire?
The Romans. Dude, like, okay, so the Romans contributed to arguably three of the most important things to all of human civilization. And we use two of them. We use them all up to this day. So the one that I don't think we use all the Roman. So one thing that I don't think we use every day is that the Romans preserved Greek art and culture, or art and architecture, right? So all those marble sculptures we see of Greek statues, they're Roman made, and because the Greeks did it all in bronze. Okay, so the Romans, as warlike as they were, melted down every chunk of every bronze sculpture they could get a hold of to turn it into weaponry for their war machine. But before they melted it down, they copied them. So they preserved a lot of Greek history and Greek culture before they wiped it off the face of the planet, or the originals off the face of the planet. Okay. But the second, or that's what I would consider the third most important thing that the Romans did. The first is a tie between the other two. Indoor plumbing. The Romans created it first.
Yes.
So yeah, every time you take a pee, think a Roman. Um, and then the other thing that the Romans did, concrete. Romans invented concrete. So yeah,
Probably.
every goddamn day. Yep, we deal with something that we deal with Roman technology. That's pretty cool. So
You know how like people always say like, what do you want to leave as like your legacy? The Romans were like,
I want to
I
leave
got you
concrete
with
like the
a
Romans.
lot of shit. Yeah, exactly. I want to leave concrete like the motherfucking Romans.
Yeah.
God,
So
I like that. Hell yeah. I want my mark to be as concrete as the Romans made.
so there you go. No, but like
Rule number 95. Roman said say less. Stupid.
Good one, Kevin. Simpsons did it first. Good one. So yeah, that's that, man. Like, oh no, we're not going art history on Rick tonight. I've been polishing up on art history for whatever fucking reason.
No, please don't. I was like, it's literally what his major was in college, guys. Please don't do this.
Oh no. Oh, I was terrible at art history. Like it's probably the one.
Oh, that's right. When I sent Colin to you, you were like, "Why did you do that?"
No, I was able to help him. I was able to help him just fine.
He was very actually like excited about that too. He was like, "Good choice," and I was like, I know. I literally know.
That's kind of fun to help him. No, but like like let's battle in Excel spreadsheets. We could do that. All right, Kevin, we'll get a ream of green bar paper and meet at 100 yards and see what happens. See who wins first.
I don't want to battle any of you with anything.
But like, yeah, so like my art history at UTEP was rough, and it was when I was finished with it, it was the one of the few factors that said I don't want to get my master's, because like I scraped by through art history in college, and I was like, man, I know I'm going to have to do so much more for a master's, and I did not want to put in the effort at the time. Now I'm like, man, I should have fucking put in the effort. But
Kevin, are you talking about that one?
Oh yeah, sure. The famous Sergio Leone. I'm sure he is. Funny enough,
I feel like my head don't want us to even fucking do this podcast because every 5 minutes it's like stops to work. I put them back in there and it's like, okay, I'm back. And then I put them back, and then they stop, and then I put them back in, and then they come back, and they're not dead because like when I open the thing, it's green. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's what I get for using fucking iPod headphones from 2000 and whenever year they fucking came out.
Oh, I like mine.
I've burnt mine out, I think, at this point, like these ones at least.
Well, Alicia just got me a new pair of Raycon for my birthday, and it's supposed to have a mic on it. I just have not had time to see how good the mic is before we go on the show, and I don't feel like fucking around before the show to see how good they are. You know, it's like $750, and I don't want to try out new headphones. So yeah, one day they'll get to be tried, and that'll be all glorious. Yeah. So let's see. Have you caught Echo yet?
Mm-mm.
No, dude, very good.
I've heard, and that is on the agenda for the coming week.
Don't let the haters talk you out of it. Like,
but I
haters
haven't
want
seen it. I've only seen good, so I'm happy about
good.
that part.
Like, don't let haters talk you out of it because it was really good. And have you seen What If yet? The new season of that.
I'm slacking.
That too is very good.
I heard that one was good too.
The only one I didn't care for was the Tony Stark one, but like, yeah, but it was still all right. Like it had an okay execution. But I was like, I'm not sure if it's because they have like somebody else voicing Tony Stark. They always have for the animated shit, but it's like, I don't know. Robert Downey Jr. makes Tony Stark who he is, and yeah, but like all of those episodes. All right, I'm just gonna say, those episodes were great. People should go check them out. We got Nicole falling off the face of the planet. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed What If. I was very pleased with it. The introduction, like the way they did. But this is not a spoiler. But I want to talk about Wakanda for a minute. Okay. I love fucking Black Panther. All right. That was a great movie. I love how Marvel did the buildup of introducing him from Civil War all the way to his show to the Wakanda Forever. Great. I've loved that whole mythology. Okay. And we know that Wakanda is incredibly superior in their technology, and they've been around forever and always having the technological edge, right? Right. Yeah. Okay. So Wakanda has been around for hundreds of years, and in the 1600s, they didn't help their fellow countrymen out. So what's going on in the 1600s, Nicole, in Africa?
Slavery.
Yeah. And the Wakandans just watched it happen. So that's kind of dick. So yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's how you fuck me up tonight.
And that's how Rick leaves on a high note. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. Imagine that.
Rick's like, and now thanks for coming to talk about Wing.
And this has been the middle show. Have a good night, everybody.
Oh my god, what was that show? Something ruins everything. It was like, what was the show? It was like blah 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 ruins everything.
Oh, Adam ruins everything.
It was not true.
Yeah, Adam ruins everything, right?
Sorry, yes. That's what Rick ruins Marvel.
I just like what the fuck, guys? Come on. Yeah.
We don't believe in interfering. Oh, okay. Great fucking goddamn rule.
They don't believe in interfering, but they'll give Howard Stark a little vibranium so he can make a fancy shield during World War II. They don't interfere up until that point in time. Come on, guys. Like, that feels lame to me. But yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
I understand a new True Detective is out now, and I'm
I
very
heard that was
interested.
very good too.
I'm waiting for it to be a whole, so it's completely out, so I can just be like, I'm gonna spend 1 month or pay for 1 month of HBO so I can binge watch the shit out of it in one foul swoop. Alicia and I have let's see what else did we watch? Um, we've been watching Reacher because that's on Prime, and that's been fun. Um, and yeah, I think that's it, dude. Like, yeah. What have you been watching lately or listening to lately?
It's the Great British Bake Off.
The Great British Bake Off. Oh, all right. So the reason Nicole is going to go be an expatriate and join the old empire. Okay.
I don't, if no one knows who Noel Felding is, y'all need to look him up. He's hilarious. He was in the Mighty Boosh,
Okay.
which no one here would know either because we're not fucking Britain. Like that, the show's awesome, and if you don't know, like I don't care. I don't fucking care. The show's great. The show's here for for baking and stuff like that. People be sitting here and like all of like the judges and stuff are so harsh and shit. And these guys are so fucking like goddamn like encouraging. And even if it sucks, they're like, it's a little stodgy. And now I'm going to use the word stodgy as often as humanly possible, of course.
You
And
should.
I'm going to. I am going to. Instead of using it like instead of like the word like our American words, I'm gonna be like, this is stodgy. And there was what was the other thing? The woman judge, Prue, her name's Prue Leith. She's if I could be anybody when I grow up, it's Dame Prue Leith. That's how I feel.
I did a live stream with the guys on the Toy Chronicle once, and it was right when I was getting into watching The Repair Shop on Netflix, and fucking, so I learned a new term from that, and then when Gary's like, Gary and Ian were like, Rick, how are you doing today? I'm like, I learned a new word, and I'm going to express how I feel with that one word. And they're like, okay, what's that? I'm like, I'm chuffed. And they just started laughing. So like,
that sounds like a fake name. Paul Hollywood? That's not. It literally is his birth name. I looked it up because I thought the same exact thing. I was like, there ain't no way. There ain't no way. And it showed like who his dad was, and it showed who his. I was like, oh, your last name really is fucking Hollywood. It's pretty fucking epic, especially if you're gonna be like a food judge or whatever.
Right on.
Like it is so hilarious because like on the show, and like because they have 3 stages of it where it's like everybody makes like a cookies or whatever, and then it's like a technical or whatever, and then the showstopper.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no Feldman. It's not. It's real. Oh, the Mighty Boosh. That's all real. Anyway, the Mighty Boosh is a show. No Feldman is a real name. Let it go. They call it the Hollywood Hand.
Are you talking to somebody else? Like seriously, that's
in the chat.
Yeah, I see 2 things in the chat, and it's like it sounds like you responded to like 15 messages. I'm like, that's okay. All right.
Now everyone has to watch it because I just think.
Yeah, everybody needs to watch it, and yeah, that'll be cool. Oh, all right. Let's see. We've been doing this for an hour and a half. What? Oh, damn it! My computer wants to try an update. I'm like, no, you cannot update right now. Don't you know this? Like, you're being used. Fake news. I thought so. I'm like, was she having a conversation with her guy? And it's like, come on, man. What are you doing? No, it's all right. Weird. All right. So we've been doing this for an hour and a half. We've gotten everything out of, on the way. We are going to be playing a fun. I consider it fun. We're going to play a game next week. So if you guys want to do the at-home version, cool. Reason Nicole will need a dry erase board is because she too will be writing down her answers instead of just vocalizing it. So we'll see who can get the answer out first. It'll be kind of fun. Yeah. So that being said, Nicole, please tell everybody where they can find you if they don't know already.
I've been really bad at Instagram for a while, but here, there, and this whole week is going to be me doing my mama shit. So come watch.
All right. And I am at Rickstro everywhere. I'm pushing the YouTube hard right now. Actually, I meant to put that in the show description.
It froze when I was trying to do it with you. What the hell?
Whoa, there you go. Look at that. All right, cool. Noodle arms. All right. So we'll see everybody next week on Sunday at 7 Central Time. 7 in
Do
the
me a
evening.
favor. If you have your mama, call your mama and tell her that you love her.
I ain't calling her.
Call her fucking mother and tell her on Saturday. Thank you very much.
She called me. Everybody have a nice night. We'll see you later.